so chapter 1, page 17. And I don't know if your pages are the same as mine.
I think, well, you made one reference to it at the other recording, and it was the same.
Okay. Because I
So
noticed that mine, so this is what I like to do. I like to listen to the audio and read at the same time. I like to kind of do some immersion. Like I'll read it with the audio and then I'll go back and read it alone. I don't know. I'm weird like that.
I do the exact same thing.
So I have it on audio and I was looking at, but I was looking in the audio, some of the sections are
She goes
reversed.
all over the place.
It's
She
all over
does
the
her
place,
own
and like
thing.
it's a whole section I didn't even find ever. And then finally she went over here, and then when I said, "Oh, I remember seeing it when she talked about the different theories or the different
Yeah.
what is it called when it talks about the Buddhism and Stoicism and I saw she went back. I was like, "Oh, okay." And that's why I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like it's back and forth. So I did. So I was thinking, I wonder, does it depend the version of the book you got? Like one that was published later they aligned it with the audio, or was that an
No.
earlier version and then they decided to rearrange it and do it this way? So I couldn't remember, and I was like, I don't know which version people have, or if the one that's in the audio was never released, but she had already done the audio, so they left it.
Mhm.
So I didn't know. So I was like, let me just tell people, like, if your pages are different, it's okay.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Honestly, I think it's just her style. She
Okay.
was just, going with the flow.
Okay. Yeah,
And she
she
probably
seems
just
like
has notes in front of her or something.
yeah, it's like she's not even reading sometimes because he'll even ad lib and add some things in there, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm
So
like, where's
I don't
that?
think I've gone through a book like that before, on audio like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
this
haven't
was
either. That's
neat.
why I didn't know. I was like, because sometimes I know they'll do that with the earlier version, and then they'll make some minor edits, like you say, just moving some pieces around.
Hmm.
But I was thinking some of it she actually ad libs. Like I can see how she goes from one paragraph to the next, but there's a whole
Hmm.
other paragraph that she just mentions. Oh, and this, and then she kind
Hmm.
of gives some commentary. And I was like,
Hmm.
so I was like, let me just make sure, because some people may have different books that are different,
Yes.
like publishing dates that they printed. I guess not publishing, but printing dates. And so I'm like,
Hmm.
just in
Hmm.
case. So on page 17, the problem
Yes.
isn't you. The problem is the power you unknowingly give other people. And so I was really trying to put that in the context of the title. Stop
Hmm.
wasting your life on things you can't control. And then I was trying to get it, not knowing at this point that the let them theory really was, like understanding the let them, let me type thing. But I was like, does that even, now that's true, but does it fit? And then of course, as I started reading, it does um, and it only, the first sentence only made sense when I think about it in terms of my children, right?
Uh-huh.
When I think about it in terms of adults, I'm like, is that still true? The problem isn't you. The problem is the power you unknowingly give other people. That second sentence, then I kind of, I was like, I don't know if I truly understand that, right?
Hmm.
Because I understand it in the sense that in certain situations you do give other people power, but I'm
Hmm.
thinking, is all situations, would you give your power to other people in all situations? And of course, I came back with no. So then I had to just
Right.
kind of resolve, like maybe she's just talking about when there's other people involved, when they're directly involved, like when you're dealing with a situation where you're having a conversation or a disagreement or concern
Oh,
about someone else, rather than
right.
a situation where it may just be, oh, how to pay a bill or how to do something else. Like maybe the let them, it only involves other people. But at that point, when I read this, I didn't know that. And then when I
Hmm.
read it, of course, then it made more sense because I'm thinking, oh, because usually when you're in that situation, it's let them because it's a person, right? It's not
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
thing or a situation that doesn't involve a person. Of
Oh,
course,
okay.
I had a leak and which led to a AC leak, which they found a gas leak. So all of July, I was without hot water
Oh
because they
my.
couldn't fix it. They claimed they fixed it, didn't pass inspection. So I had to get another plumber. I went to three plumbers, a whole month. It was a whole saga, right? And in those moments, I knew that if I let the real Tammy come out, the black girl Tammy come out, they really probably wouldn't do anything, right? Or I'll experience resistance.
Yeah.
And so I realized that even though they were taking their time and kind of dilly-dallying around, I had to kind of release some control in those moments to say, okay, he can't come to Wednesday. Oh, look, you can't do this. Or what, like, it was very hard in the waiting periods to let them, right, do
Mhm.
whatever they had to do. Oh, I have another client over here and I can't get to you today, but I got to do this. I got to do this. It's like, why did you take my job if you knew you didn't have time to do it? Right. And then I just
Mhm.
felt like, well, it's too late now. I've already spent this money. So it's like, I just got to let it play out. Right. And let them just do what they need to do it at their pace and get it done because they know the process and I didn't. And that was probably one of the first times since I've been divorced that I was like, this is one of the benefits of being in partnership with someone or married, right?
Mhm.
It was just like because I was like dealing with all these men on this situation that I had no idea about
Mhm.
and trying to get it done. And I'm one like, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. Like you already got my money. Because usually that's the issue for me, right? Is paying for it. Like you already got my money. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And I had to just kind of let them. And when they wanted to talk and they're like, no, no, get to work. Do your job. I had to just let them. Like, and I was like, what can I do? Okay. These are the things I can do in the meantime. This is what I'll do. I'll work with the insurance, see what I can get reimbursed for. I got reimbursed maybe one-fourth of it, but at least it was
Oh
something.
man.
But it was
Yeah.
just like those were thousands of dollars I hadn't planned on spending this summer, besides like on
Mhm.
school clothes and things like that. So it was just like, so I was just like, oh my goodness. So I don't know if I was letting them or letting go or both, but I don't know. I was kind of, it was all over the place. But anyway, so that was one of the things I had to, I think I always got to check is like, am I giving someone else my power? Am I
Mm.
letting me? What can I do in this moment? What do I have control over and what actions can I take so that I can do my part? So difficult, so difficult.
Mm. Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
Sorry. This book is right on time. Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
All right, I'll let you choose a quote now. I'll pause. I'm gonna close this.
Let me see.
I'll turn on the light. There we go.
I just truly loved this is not a quote, but I truly loved the story where um Mel was at the prom situation thing and the daughter was the one that said let them, because
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I was in similar situations.
Mhm.
And of course I, no one told me that, but they will tell, they want me to stop doing whatever I'm doing.
Right.
That's happened to me so many times, both my boys and my daughter. So I thought that was just
And the
incredible the way
thing
that
is,
happened.
I I don't I've listened to her talks, but I never did hear the story about the origin story, right? About how she came up with it and that it was prom and that it was her daughter. I'm
Hmm.
thinking, okay. And then it became a whole movement. Like I didn't realize all these people had tattoos of let them
Oh
on
yeah,
them.
that was so incredible. Yeah.
Like,
No, in the interview that I remember hearing about, that didn't come into the interview, the tattoo things, but
yeah.
apparently that's a huge thing. And this
And I was
book
like,
hasn't
where
been
was
out
I?
that long.
I know. I was like, where was I? How did I miss the movement? Or did people just go out and get it so quick that
I understood that the movement was through the book, right?
yes, yes,
And the
yes.
book is brand new or fairly new, right?
Yes, I think she said she
That is
started talking
quick.
about it on a podcast. So it's copyright 2024. So it's probably been about a year. But
Okay.
but this had to happen before the book in order for it to be printed in the book, right? So I don't
Uh-huh.
know, and it doesn't seem like they added it. She didn't make mention, like even on the audio, she was adding like little commentary. She didn't make mention that they added it later. But I do know
Uh-huh.
that she came up with a theory. I think it was a podcast or a video
Okay.
on social media that she posted, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's when it hit her. after the prom incident, that's when it hit her that she should dive into this further. And so maybe it was a result of that audio, and then people just kind of caught on to it. But I'm like, where was I in the movement before the book? I wouldn't have gotten the tattoo, but I was like, man, that's a lot of people. When she said how many, I think she said it was, let's see, I thought she said it was like 300 people that sent something that she saw, like, oh my goodness. Yes, there was a podcast episode of the year globally. And so that's when the tattoos, but I thought she
Wow.
said how many, that's on page 27. I thought she said how many people had submitted like their tattoo, but maybe she didn't. Maybe she just said it was so many of them that it was a lot of people. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The
Okay, I
tattoo?
have a quote here.
Okay.
It is page 26, I think. Yeah,
Ooh,
page
okay.
26.
Okay.
Midway, almost towards the end, right before the last paragraph. Let's see, where do I start this? Um, Let them be themselves because they are revealing who they are to you. Just let them, and then you get to choose what you do next.
Mm,
I thought that was pretty profound.
yeah. Let me. Yeah. You get to choose what you do next, which is interesting because my tagline is always preparing, moving in the direction of more and preparing for what's next. And I
Mhm,
think this adds a little more credibility to that tagline. Like, what are you going to do? Like, you get to choose what you do next and whatever that is in a situation where you trying to control or just in general, like the way your life, like this chapter is stop wasting your life, but how you're living your life, right? You get to choose to what happens next and being active in that choice, right? You
mhm,
take action. Like you are an active participant. You don't just let things happen to you. You don't have to
mhm,
just, which is that let go side of it, right? You don't just let things happen to you. You actually have a choice and you can decide
mhm.
what that looks like and how that feels, right? So yeah, I love that. Love that. I'm gonna have to highlight that. Just let them and then you get to choose.
Mhm.
I know I have my little flags and tags.
Oh, yeah.
I
So to
know I
me,
took
I
my
was
book.
think, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I took my book with me, so I have it in this bag. Go ahead.
So I mean, I think that quote kind of speaks very much to like relationships and how you interact with others to see, does it become a close friendship or, is it casual? Um, you may be putting a lot into it where it may not, the other person is not necessarily looking for that. So it could be a useful quote, I think, in just a lot of different areas of life.
Oh my goodness. Which reminds me of what's on page 19.
Uh-huh.
It's the second full paragraph on that page. She says the let them theory will teach you that the more you let other people live their lives, the better your life gets. And the more you let people be who they are, or feel what they feel, or think what they think, the better your relationships will be.
Mm.
Learning how to let adults be adults has changed my life. So, yeah, so I think it's all like all relationships,
Yeah.
which maybe that'll help me in my dating world. Well, it's maybe something will happen. I don't know. There's nothing happening. It's quiet.
No, that's good. I mean, and I think reading this, it kind of helps you move towards myself as being more authentic and hopefully bringing out a more authentic person in the other. Yeah.
I love that. all human beings have been hardwired, have a hardwired need to control. And so when she was talking about that, that's this is page 30 in italics.
I had actually noted that one. Yes, page 30.
And I was like, oh, so next to mine in my book, I put ouch, because that is definitely me. Like I have that's definitely a trait that I possess. That's not the best.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize it until now that my boys are moving into young adulthood. And it's like, you mothers didn't tell me it was like this hard. It's so hard to know, like, oh my goodness, like one, he's gonna be 18 and then he's gonna be graduating. And then one more year I'll have another one. Like I can't handle it. Like it's too close. But but then
Mm.
there's a part of me that's like, yay, good, he's growing up, they're doing the thing, yay. They made it this far. I didn't screw them up too bad. But yeah, and so it's this thing of wanting to control, and I realized maybe that's what drew me to this book is because
Mm.
one, I realized how hardwired I am for that need to
Hmm.
control. I know everyone is, but I realized like the extent of mine.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
that makes sense. So
Well, and being a parent like really brings it out. It really brings it out. And so like it's and I
not
mean
before now. Yes.
I tend to worry a lot. And I think, well, sometimes maybe I shouldn't have been a parent because I just worry so much. It's amazing I've gotten through what I've gotten through.
Yeah, because is your daughter still in Spain?
No, she's back. She was there a year.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she's been back almost a year because she got back last summer. And
Oh, okay. Oh,
so,
she's been
yeah.
back. Okay. Okay.
So she's been back, and so officially or unofficially, it was a sabbatical from her jobs. She got to go back to her job,
Oh, nice.
and so she's completing her fourth year of working,
Mhm.
which is amazing. And at the same, it's an engineering firm. And I don't know if I ever told you, but my second child, my younger son, he's 2 years older than Paloma. He had gone to school at A&M Corpus Christi, graduated with an engineering degree. Couldn't find a job within that area that, it was hard to, interview and stuff. He ended up working for Peter Piper's for a full year and then
Oh.
decided he wanted to go back to school. So he went back to A&M Corpus Christi and not for master's degree, because for whatever reason, he wanted to go into math and computer science.
Oh,
And so
okay.
he got two more bachelor's degrees.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, hey, but I will say if you're gonna do it, at least choose those because that's really
oh
popular
my
right now, and
gosh.
the job market is so much better if you have that in your pocket,
Yeah.
especially the computer
Yes.
science and the
Yeah.
technology piece of it. So,
Yeah, well, and then eventually he graduated in December, and then he kept working all that time,
mhm.
graduated again, kept working all that time, just part-time. He ended up working at Michael's.
Okay,
And long story short, by October of that following year, he got interviewed by my daughter's firm, and they hired him.
so they're
So
working together.
well, they're not working together. They're working in the same firm, but
Okay,
because they're doing separate things,
okay,
they hired him as an electrical engineer,
okay,
which is the weirdest thing. They trained the heck out of him,
yeah.
but his original degree was in what was it? Oh, it was one of the other engineering one,
Mechanical.
mechanical
Okay,
engineering. And so they ended up hiring him in that, but I figured he was going to be very marketable because they work in teams. So they've
mm,
got a computer guy, they've got and so he can kind of speak the language of several of the others, and he can
that's
put
nice.
people together. And so I think that's what he's been doing.
Oh
So,
man, you were doing let them even before this because I can't imagine like even right now with DC not choosing what he wants to do after high school and I'm trying to push him like because as an educator I know like we need to start applying, we need to start doing this, like we need to start scholarships, we need to start writing these essays, we need to do this and he's just like, no mom, And I'm like, oh. And so I don't know how you let them when they're like, you got a degree, but you're working here, you're doing this, and you oh
No health insurance.
yes,
It's
exactly.
bad.
See, I'm like, oh, because you like, yeah, it'll bring it out. It'll bring it out.
Yeah.
And so on page 31,
Uh-huh.
I guess this goes into those first two paragraphs there. But
Mhm.
when she talks about how the result, I gained more control over my own life than I have ever had before. It's freeing. I stopped making other people the problem, and in doing so, my relationship improved in ways I never thought possible. It was like unlocking a door that had been sealed shut for years, and behind it, a life where I'm no longer weighed down by the need to manage other people. So, needless to say, I'm not there yet. I'm just now absorbing this and implementing. So, I'm so interested in how those of us who are reading will feel at the end. Like those of us
Mhm.
who actually practice it, like if we find that, if we agree with her on that. So that is one that then got put like come back. I put a little note to come back and check at the end. Like, let me
Ah,
read that again.
good.
Like, do I feel like I've gained more control? And I will say last night when um DC's dad was freaking out about this mouthpiece, and I was like, we talked about it. He said it's good. He said they can wear them. So I'm just gonna let him. And then he called me back. And because I was like, I'm just gonna let him, I said, but I'm willing to, but I told him that I will get another one, and so we got him a backup that's a regular one as well, and that was our compromise. And he was like, we're just gonna let him do it. And he was like, why? He was like, but I said, were you calling to rip me a new one because of this? Like, this is your thing. Sports is your thing. And then after they got it molded and he put it in, he got to see how it fit in there. 'Cause it looks like it only does the front. Unlike the old ones, they go all the way back. They have
Yeah.
those older ones, they actually protect the molars. This one is only the front. And he said once
Oh,
they got
wow.
it molded, the way it
Uh-huh.
holds the mouth open, he was like, okay, okay. But
Wow.
it was a time, but I realized that, you know, that situation worked out, right, for me, and it made me feel like
Mhm.
I was just like, whatever, like he's got it. We've kind of got it. But I can see how there could be other times that it may not feel that way. So I'm gonna try for the next 30 days. I'm gonna continue on this path of let them let me, and we'll see. But I just wanted to point that out because I really want your feedback at the end on if that's something you've
Sounds
always
good.
done, so you didn't notice a difference because you kind of moved into that already, or if you realize in certain situations or relationships with certain people,
Yeah.
if it shifted. Because, and I'm
I
also
don't think
gonna
I've
try that
moved
at
into
work.
it. I don't think I've moved into it enough.
Yeah, I realize with my boys is one place I need to really work on it and work like and what
Uh-huh.
other people do since I train other people and what I how I
Yes.
get people other people cooperation or not. Um, that those are the two areas that I probably will see if I could probably tell, but by the end of the 30 days if it really works. If I'm really feeling like I have more control over on my own life, if I feel a little freer and lighter in that. So stay tuned. That will be one of the questions in the last week. Now that we're done with this. All right. Anything else for chapter 1?
Let me see here. I don't think so.
All right. Moving on to chapter 2. Getting started. Let them let me. Let's see what I've Oh, page 37. Let me see. See which one I want. Oh, that's a good one too. But I will just mention 40 because I keep bringing it up. So I'm going to talk about 40. But I have a couple of other good ones on 37 and 39. But
Okay.
I've had a lot of people ask if let them is the same thing as letting go. It is not. Letting go feels like you've lost. You're surrendering to something beyond your control. Let them is the opposite, is strength. When you say let them, you're not giving up or walking away. You're releasing that grip you have on how things should go. and allow them to unfold the way they will go. You're freeing yourself.
Yeah. That really is a good summary of what her intention is for this
Mhm.
book.
Yeah. And like I said,
Yeah.
that was kind of the point. I put a little asterisk. I put all these asterisks around that section because I thought
Yeah.
that was kind of the aha. Because up until that point, I'm just reading to read, right? And I'm like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
get this. I get this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then I didn't really get it until because that was my question. That I guess that was my question without knowing that it was my question about Lego.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess that's what I was interpreting it as. But when she said that, the people asked, I'm like, oh yeah, because that's what I was thinking. It was more like just let it go. Because that's what people always say, just let it go, let it go. If you don't stop, just let it go, mom, let it go. Like that's kind of how I hear from my voice. And I'm thinking, no, it's not let them go. It's not that you're surrendering or it's something beyond your control. It's just allow them to have that experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that really opened my idea, like, okay, so let me try this a different way from a different angle. And then at the bottom of that page too, the last paragraph, their
Mm-hmm.
response doesn't change the value of your idea. It doesn't change your worth as a contributor. And so I put that because that's when she was talking about how if you have an idea, if you're in a group, because we're always in these organizations, we serve on these boards, and we always have these ideas and we throw it out there and then it gets shot down. And then she was talking about when that happens, you think, oh my goodness, because they shut down my idea, like it wasn't a good idea. That may not have been the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it said you feeling invisible and that you start second guessing yourself and wondering if maybe you should have said it differently or tried harder or did something different. And she was like, no, 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 no. Sometimes you just, uh, that may bring out a different idea. Like your
Mm-hmm.
idea was good and it was valued, but it also may spark another idea that may even, push it a little further. And so I was like, that's what I got to remember too. Cause sometimes I'll be telling people this and they're like, no, no, no. And then 4 months later, 6 months later, a year later, they'll come back and say the same thing I said. But it takes a long time for that validation, right? Because it's not necessarily immediate because because everybody kind of thinks and process at a different rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized and I always got to say, like, I said this last year. I said this at the last meeting, last month. I was last quarter when we were talking, I kept mentioning that. And, and in that moment when I keep saying that, I realize what I'm wanting them to do is just tell me, that famous phrase, the cliche, you're right. Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
did. Because I want them to know that it was a good idea then, just like it's a good idea now. But
Mm-hmm.
that part kind of told me like it's valued, but sometimes it either push the idea further or you're not at the point where that idea where people can really use that, like know what that means, right, and know that the value of that contribution just yet. And so I was like, okay, okay. So I was just, so that's what I equate that to. Maybe because I'm always that rebel out there throwing out things that may be a little innovative and different, and then it takes people a while to come back, and I'm like, we could have been like, and I always say we could have been, coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? And I'm thinking, just breathe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your response doesn't change the value of your idea, or their response doesn't change the value of your idea. So I like that.
That's good.
Can I just say, these visuals
Oh yeah.
were everything. And it's funny because I'm one of those that skip ahead. Even though I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm reading, I wanted to see the three. I was like, well, that's let them, that's saying let them, but there's no let me. So I was like, where's the other one? Where's the other one? Where's the other one? And of course, it's like 3, 4 pages later, and then it says saying let me. And then I'm like, oh, then I was like, because I was like, I love that visual of how when you don't say let them at all and you just try to control it, how it's all one sided. It's you. And then when you just let them, then you just give up your power and you're just done.
Mhm.
But when you say let them and then let me, now there's a balance. They can do what they want and you're going to do what you want and everybody's doing what they. So I really love that in like just bringing home the
Mhm.
analogy, right? But the
Yeah,
mean the theory and the analogy, right?
that is really good.
Page 47. Let me stop
Uh-huh.
expecting other people to always include me. Let me take responsibility for what I want in life. Let me figure out the deeper issue that I need to look at. Let me be more proactive about reaching out to people. Let me invite people to do something this weekend. Let me throw a party for once. Let me develop better boundaries with work so I have time for friendship. Let me prioritize my social life because clearly it matters to me and is my responsibility. Let me reach out. And she kind of goes on to what let me could mean in different situations. And I was like, I was like, yeah. I was like, oh. And I was like, I noticed that each one of them, it was let me, and then there was a verb. Let me stop. Let me take. Let me be more proactive. Let me invite. Let me develop. Let me prioritize. So there was
Mhm.
some kind of action after let me. So even I think going like as I say, go throughout the month. I think for me is let them, okay, I know what that is. But when I the let me part, I think is the hard part for me. It's like
Mhm.
figuring out what can I do is to make sure that whatever I do, whether it's writing in my journal and writing it out so I can clearly know what I'm going to do in a certain situation, is to let me and then follow it with a verb. What is that? What am I going to do? And to do
Mhm.
something may not be physically do, like to prioritize, it's an abstract action, right? It's something that you do
Yeah.
just maybe your list or whatever. It's not like you have to go out and run a marathon. It's a different kind of action, but it's still action because that sometimes it's mental action, right? Sometimes it's the way you think about things. So now I'm
Yes.
thinking when I think about let me, and what is the verb? What am I going to do? What's that verb that's going to follow let me? Let me what? And then, you know,
Very good. Yeah.
so we're gonna see.
I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
Yeah. So yeah, and I don't know. And the good thing is the way her personality, maybe because I heard her read it as well, her personality is it also let me know like it doesn't have to be an absolute. Like
Mhm.
it's a work in progress. Like
Mhm.
you may not get it right 100% of the time, but be conscious of it and just try it. Just
Mhm.
try it. And if it works for you and you can make it work, let me do it. If not, then next time try it again. Like, So
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe that's because the way she engages and how she talks about it in like the interviews, she's just
Mhm.
like, you know, don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink it. Like
Mhm.
we all have this need to control. So you just when you feel like you're receiving that resistance from other people in those moments, just think, is this a moment when I should just let them? Right? Should I just let them? And then let me, whatever that verb is, go take a nap. Or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Which is how I deal with a lot of stressful things is I go to sleep. So that's why I say that. So in the joke there, like they say at every joke, there's some truth in every joke. That's kind of the thing.
Yes.
Like, and then when I wake up, I can think clearly and not so emotional. But yeah. bring up the question. I read them. I haven't had a chance to respond, but I did read some of the responses.
I did, I think, 3 of the questions.
Hmm.
Can't
And
remember
I was
now.
just posting. I wanted to just see what people would, because I want
They
people
were
to
good
kind of,
questions.
yeah. So, let's see. The one that I'm looking at is discussion 3. I think that was the one. Yeah, I think we all kind of talked about that. Several people, well, a couple of us responded on that one, so that may be a good one to kind of. I know we're getting over time, getting to time. How might reframing that moment help you recenter your power and redirect your focus? So, of course, now that we've talked about it, I didn't want to put too much, but I think for me is um the verb, right? Is when I say
Mhm,
let me, what is that verb that's gonna follow? Immediately follow let me, right? Let
mhm,
me. Um, and so Kristen, I know she put about decenter my feelings and emotions, and I was hoping she would show up today because I really wanted her
mhm,
to kind of talk about that because um I don't know if that's what her completely what the theory is not to center your emotions, but I think it's in the way you center them, right? Because she said, decenter my feelings and emotions, which replaces my focus to what is actually happening and allowing others to be who and what they are. So I agree with that, but I also don't know if it's a decentering of your emotions or managing your emotions in a way that you let them and then you turn that energy that comes up from your emotions on yourself, right? So to validate your emotions, but that it comes on yourself. So that way you do let them be who they are and what they are, but you also
mhm,
you honor your emotions in a different way as opposed to trying to get someone else to understand them. That's not the push. The push is for you
mhm,
to understand them and for you to do something in that moment to help you through those emotions. And so that was
mhm.
something that I wanted us to kind of talk about. And then
Okay.
oh yeah, you put about your sister. Yeah, and your
Yes.
mom. So how is that going?
It's going
What do you
okay.
think about, have you thought about, I know you just wait, oh no, you just wrote this today. Never mind. You
I
may not
just
have
wrote
had
it
the
today.
chance, but
Yeah.
but yeah.
So, um, so to me, it's like more reframing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's the way I thought about it. I This was my sister took my mom to go see an aunt, and generally I'm the one that always does the trip. And my mom doesn't get to see her sister unless I were to take her, and she doesn't see her often enough. So my sister ended up taking her, didn't mention it to me or anything, not that she had to, but then
Yeah.
I find out
It's a
later,
courtesy.
and
Yeah.
I felt like, I was a little left out.
Mhm.
But I mean, I really, what I should have done was be happy that she actually did it, and most of all, that my mom got to spend time with her sister, because that's
Yeah,
what was
let them, let
important.
them, let them.
Yes.
Yeah. So do
Yeah.
you think that came from a place of just not necessarily the control aspect of being taking her, but just being left out of the outing?
I think it
Which
was more
part
being
was
left
it?
out.
Oh, okay.
I think so. Left
Because I
out.
think that in those situations when you just want to be included, I think it's a different feeling of control than you just I need to do it. I want to take her. I always take her. I want to take her. Like, no, no, no. I really don't need to take her. I'd rather just ride in the back seat with her. But I like to be included. Like that's a different feeling, I think. That's a different emotion, right?
Yeah,
That comes from a different emotion. So that's why I
I
asked,
guess it does. Yeah.
you know,
So,
because
yeah.
it can be a lot to care for someone and, take them, be responsible for taking them and doing things like that. So
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
it may be okay to let someone else do it, but like, hey, but I still want to go hang out. Like I'm not doing anything. I'm okay. Like
Yeah.
I still want to go. I don't know. That's just how I think about it, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, see. I know I went in here and I saw them, but I was in motion. Once my son called, Mom, at 5 o'clock, can you take me to vets and then pick me up at 6? And take me, I said, well, I got to be back by, and I was, like I said, I had 7:30 in my head. And I still got to pick up your brother's medicine and da 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 da, because they'll be doing practice. And it's his asthma medicine. And
Mm.
I just, I didn't get a chance to respond. So I'll go back and respond to the other ones.
Yeah, that's fine. I had just written mine just today.
Okay. And I figured, yeah, and I figured I'll just leave them and then people can respond. So I'll post some
Mm-hmm.
for chapters 3 through 6 next week. I'll let these kind of hang out here for a while, see what
Mm-hmm.
happens. And then next week I'll post a couple of more for the next set of chapters. And like, and
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm gonna keep the pace so people can kind of go through because I like it when what the reading schedule have, we're behind it, even in the discussions, it's okay. So
Uh-huh.
then that means it's more people that, they're when we start discussing, oh no, we're just on chapters 1 and 2 still. They're like, oh good, I thought we were gonna be through 6. I didn't get there. And then I think it helps some of the anxiety. So but for
Yeah,
those who
that
are
is.
reading, it'll kind of keep them, going, kind of keep us on
Mm-hmm.
track. And then if we do start talking about some of that, it's okay. Let's see.
Good.
Anything else about those 2 chapters? Anything else from those 2 chapters that
Um,
struck you as
Let me
interesting
see.
or
I just made a notation here. I don't know where the quote is. It's page 41. I don't know exactly where it was at, but it said the every time that you say let them, you're really taking back power.
ah, mhm.
And I just
Hmm.
noted it, so I don't know exactly where it came from.
And maybe part that well, I think she kind of talks about it throughout the chapter. I know she even starts talking
It
about it.
may have been one of the times she went off
Yeah,
script.
that may have been our script notes. I know she kind of talks about it on page 39 when she talks choosing
Okay.
peace is not weakness, it's power.
Uh-huh.
Let them doesn't mean giving away control, it means reclaiming it. By choosing how we respond, by not feeding anger, hatred, or negativity, we exercise the ultimate power in ourselves. And I know she keeps kind of talking about it all the way through 40, 41.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, I think she goes all the way through 45 when she even does the seesaw analogy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so yeah, I like that. So,
Well, and I really like the way you put the thing about where you said the let me and then an action word. That hadn't clicked for me. So I really like the way you explained that.
well,
It's
thank you.
very
I try to make sense every now and then. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This perimenopause brain is interesting. Nobody
Mm.
told me about that too. I was getting on my mom and say, Mom, you didn't tell me. She's like, ah, well, I had my, hysterectomy and all that back. And like, well, I say, well, I got all the things.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, but yeah. So I may even, maybe I'll wait until people kind of read some more. Because I don't know if you met my friend Yvette. They
That
used
I
to live
don't
here in
know.
Corpus. She was a teacher at King, and then she
Uh-huh.
works for the ESC. But she's reading with us, and like I have several
Oh,
people that are sit
nice.
there reading with us, but just trying to find a time that works where I'm not all over the place.
Mhm.
And And I didn't think we had anything tonight, but then they had orientation. But when I set the schedule, I didn't know that they hadn't put out the school hadn't put out the orientation schedule.
Yeah.
So I think the next one is, let me go, I'm in the group. I think I have it next Wednesday. I think I was gonna try a Wednesday and see how that worked. I don't know how that works for you.
And let me see. I don't know what I did or how I figured it out, but through and I forget what app you use to place
Mighty
everything. It's the I was just on it.
Mighty
The
Network.
Mighty, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I don't know what I did, but I was able to download each of those dates to my calendar.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should be able to sync them to your calendar.
So
Um,
sometimes I have such a hard time doing that stuff.
And I will say, like, if I change the time or update the time after you save
Uh-huh.
it to your calendar, the one thing I noticed that sometimes it will update as well, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes you got to go back and resync it. So right now they're all at 7, so I got that in my head now. But I think all the other
Okay.
ones are on Wednesday. Is Wednesday at
Okay.
7? How does that work for you?
That works for me.
Okay, because I figured we'll try that because I know Thursdays and Fridays will be start being games. So I said Monday, Tuesday,
Yes.
Wednesdays are safe, but Mondays
Okay.
I have another meeting, and then Tuesday I just figured, oh, Wednesday's a good day. Because I don't teach during the day, and so that way if anything's going on, I can kind of wrap it up and get
Okay.
it together. So.
Yeah, that
So
sounds
next
good.
Wednesday. So next Wednesday, we'll just pick up, like I said, whatever we've read. If it's just chapter 3, we'll just talk about chapter 3. But I know I have 3 through 6 on the list, but I was trying to do every 50 pages. So 50 pages at a time.
Okay.
So some it seems like it's more, but this one was with the introduction. So that's why it was
Mm-hmm.
this one was actually 55 pages or well, those black pages are there, but I guess the end of chapter 2 ended on page 50. So that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
how you wonder, that's kind of how I do. I try not to do more than 50 so
Okay.
maybe people can. So sometimes it look like a lot of chapters, but I noticed that some of her chapters are shorter and some are longer, so. Woo! I
Okay.
can't wait to chapter 4.
Oh yeah?
Let them stress you out is the name of it.
Oh
I don't know
my.
what she's talking about, but that chapter, I
Uh-huh.
started chapter 3, but I hadn't gotten to 4 yet. So,
Okay.
but
Very
chapter
good.
5 is going to be the one that's freeing. Let them think bad thoughts about you.
Oh.
That's going to be interesting. That's the part that's probably going to be my challenge chapter. But,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, how to love difficult people. So yeah, this is a good section. So I'm looking forward to it. So,